My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and doing really well. Today I'm reviewing Creed Viking Cologne. This is £175 for 50ml or £240 for 100ml. Let's read what they say is in this. This is a crisp and aromatic fougere. Top notes are bergamot, lemon, mandarin and pink pepper. I love all those things. I love bergamot. Heart notes are geranium, lavender, nutmeg, rosemary and sage. Nutmeg seems to be a thing. I'm using a lot of nutmeg as well. I love nutmeg. The base notes are sandalwood, frankincense, patchouli, cedarwood and vetiver. I'm yet to do a vetiver fragrance. And the spiel is Viking Cologne captures the reawakening from the darker winter months. I'm not going to read the rest. Do we have our bottles of Creed Viking Cologne? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. So that is a lot of money. What was it, £175 for 50ml? That's a lot of money. For that, I want it to last. I want it to perform. And I want it to be fantastic. £175 is what I charge for my ouds, sir. So what you're getting, sort of methyl pamplemousse combined with peppermint, combined with cloves, metallic. It's so metallic. Absolutely icy super and hedione in this. The methyl pamplemousse is the grapefruit like raw material, and if you don't finesse it, it smells of synthetic grapefruit, and when you finesse it, it can smell of pink grapefruit. That's obviously more expensive. I kind of don't know how to feel about this, if I'm very honest with you, and I was looking at the notes and it's sort of, maybe it's the vetiver I get really put off in, but vetiver I've experimented with and I kind of do like it with sweeter citruses. But kind of when you got lemon with vetiver, you get the sort of finish to it. And lemon as an essential oil, I love it. It's brilliant in such a lot of different ways. And maybe it's the mandarin I don't particularly like. To me, this smells 30 up, maybe 40 up. It doesn't smell youthful. It kind of doesn't smell up to date where Perfumer is going. What's written down is kind of perplexing to me. Why you would want to put nutmeg with all these sort of citruses and vetiver. It's kind of a little bit perplexing. And I want to say I haven't got it in for the Creed house. I just, it's not my style of perfumery. It smells a little bit, do you know what this smells like? It smells a little bit dated, if I'm very honest with you. It kind of, there's raw materials that are available to put in formulations, and you can update a formulation, and you can, with this sort of thing, if you're going to take and do a flanker, I kind of want it super brought up to date. And this kind of feels like a rejiggling of aroma chemicals and essential oils. And a cologne to me would be more of a sort of a gentleman's sort of fragrance. And this does smell like a gentleman, and it does sort of smell eloquent. But if you put this on and didn't know the price and then put it on, kind of, would you think 175 quid for 50ml? That is a lot of money. And for that, I want something unique and different and interesting. And for sort of 50ml, that's kind of like my thinking. One thing I want to sort of talk about, because this absolutely has dihydromercenol, and you have a sort of classic way to put together a freshie is with sort of iso super and hedione, or hedione and iso super. This is iso super and hedione because you've got a more dense, meaty formulation. Hedione at the top gives it more of an ozonic, softer feel, which I personally sort of prefer. But for more men's fragrances, you flip it around and you have iso super at the top. This absolutely has dihydromercenol. Now, dihydromercenol, if you look at it on paper, says lime, and it is, I've spoken about it. It is a linking molecule with sort of citruses. You have your acetates and your linalool and ethyl linalool, and you can sort of link it in at high amounts. Dihydromercenol smells like cool water and will smell undoubtedly blue and limey, and higher amounts again smells like of toilet cleaner. At low amounts, you won't detect it as lime, but what you will detect that as undoubtedly masculine. And when you sort of jiggle around linalool acetate, dihydromercenol, you get differing effects. And that's how I can detect it, because you're not getting a limey finish, you're getting a masculine finish. And the dihydromercenol in this is giving a masculine finish. The ambroxan, I think it's sort of quite nice, but it's a little bit lackluster and a little bit like jiggling around, and does feel a little bit for cost. I always want you to spend your money wisely, and sort of £175 is just so much money, and I kind of want more for £175, and that's sort of where it is. On to my final thoughts. I kind of like this in some aspects, and I think if it was about 105, I kind of would love it. But for £175, it's kind of, I expected more from it. So I'll go through my marks a few. So the box is safe, legal, compliant. Next two marks are projection, longevity. I think you get that amazing top note of citruses, methyl pamplemousse. You have a nice, robust muskinate, anchor it to the skin. It's just clean and fresh. So I think it's, initially you have that pop, what people generally look for. But then unfortunately, it dries down to a little bit of something unsubstantial. And so for £175, I expect you to apply it in the morning and have something really, just really beautiful, lasting throughout the day. And in this aspect, it sort of trailed off a little bit, unfortunately, and I was left with a sort of a lemony, limey, peppery, pink pepper, vetiver skin scent. It smells older, and I kind of think with some beautiful raw materials, this could have really been just more modern. It could have been a little bit more exciting, and it's a little bit underwhelming. So I'm going to give it a 1 out of 2 for the longevity and projection. It sort of dried down to skin scent, and it didn't have that gorgeous creed thing. Next to marks of the price, I think this is so overpriced. I mean, in my opinion, of course, I kind of think for what it is, for what it's costing, and what's around at the moment, I kind of would love this for between £105 and £125 for 50ml. And I kind of think for when you're going up to £175, they're not really saying anything fantastic raw materials in there. It's not particularly up to date. It's not particularly inspiring me at all. So I'm going to give it a 1 out of 2. Do I like it? I love some aspects of it. I love the amount of naturals in it. I think are gorgeous. And I love the way it's been built is really classic. But I think I'm going to go back to it again. For £175, it's underwhelming. You know, it's a skin scent now on me. And I've just reviewed the Dior Elixir, and that is radiating off my skin, and that is less. And I know they're completely different, but for £175, I want it to radiate off the skin, walk my dogs, put petrol in my car, do my shopping, and iron my clothes for 50ml, and it's not. And it's kind of just lacking something. How would I improve upon it? I'd have rejiggled it around. I would have added some exciting ambers. I would have added some more woody facets to it. With fougères, you can add woodiness to it. I would have added timberols, particularly beautiful, limbinol, javanol. That would have been beautiful in this, and it would have smoothed it and helped. In this aspect, I want this smoothed slightly, and to me, it smells a little bit underwhelming. So I'm going to mark this a 7 out of 10. I kind of think for the money is kind of kicking me a little bit. If this was £125, it would have got a 9. But the 2 marks are coming off because it's slightly underwhelming on technical level, and the money's a little bit too high. So I hope you love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content, lots of moving hands, and lots of fragrance reviews. I hope you're staying safe and well, and I'll see you soon.